4 just outstanding work days, and I love the progress we're making. Attitude couldn't be better. The work couldn't be more intense, more competitive, and just really excited about a lot of things. A lot of the young guys are showing up and doing excellent things. We're making steps at all positions, and today in particular was outstanding. So just at this point, 4 days in, I'm very pleased. But that being said, we've got a ton of work to do. And the great thing about this group is they want to do the work. I mean, they really want to do the work, and that is encouraging.
Was it like you kind of called them together at one point after things got a little chippy toward the end? Was there a message needed to be made at that point?
There was, yeah. The message is this: is number one, Kenny, and there was a little scuffle, which we never condone. It is part of training camp. But we had officials out here today, and I said, would you have thrown someone out? And they said, we would have thrown out 52. And I said, then he's got to leave the field. And it's a long, lonely walk when you have to leave the field, and I wanted them to see that. The other message is that we have been really, really good at times until we get in the red zone, and then we have penalty problems. And that was, once again, a little bit, not as bad, but a little bit of an issue today. We had 154 competitive plays, and we had 5 penalties, and they were all in the red zone, plus a red zone sack. So just a point of emphasis there. It was a great time it was the end of practice anyway, so it was a good time to emphasize that.
Would you say your offense, this is the best day your offense has had so far in 4 practices?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I mean, I kind of go back and forth. I can play both sides. See, that's the great thing. I can say that they played well, but the defense didn't play well, or vice versa. What I will tell you is I see improvement every single day out of them, out of all of them. Out of the offensive line, the backs, the receivers, the continuity between the receivers and the quarterback, and I'm just encouraged with the direction that we're headed.
Can offense and defense have a good day on the same day?
Yeah, they can. Like yesterday, up until today, up until the last 20 minutes of yesterday's practice, it was by far the best practice we've ever had at UCLA. By far, it wasn't even close on both sides of the ball. And then we kind of frizzled a little bit, or fizzled a little bit. What's interesting is that last year, the national championship game, from the national anthem through the final gun, was 4 hours and 14 minutes. And that's how long you have to be able to concentrate. We're out here a little under 3 hours today. And what you see is at the end of every practice, things get a little bit, we start to lose it. And what we have to do is develop the discipline to keep it together. And that's one of the things that we're working on.
How impressed are you by the running game, especially?
Well, I like our running game. I like the backs. I like what we're doing up front. I like what we're doing schematically. I think it's outstanding. Creating angles, powers, double team. Come off some zone schemes, some man schemes, some angle schemes, and then 3 good backs to do it. And then anytime you can throw the ball outside, and they're challenging you with 8 in the box, you can get those one-on-ones outside so they feed off of each other. So I'm very impressed with it. I like our attitude in running the ball. We've made a huge emphasis on both sides of the ball in terms of just running it when we know that they know we're going to run it, and stopping the run when we have to stop the run. That has been a little bit of an issue for us, and so it's been a huge emphasis for it, and I'm pleased.
Is there any separation right now with those 3 guys?
No.
Main guys?
And I don't think you're going to see a lot of separation. They all have their strengths. Nate is a guy that can break tackles. And then when he gets in the open field, he's elusive. Soso is a glider, elusive with his speed, has tremendous hands. And then, Bolu is just he's gonna knock people over. And then those 2 young guys, Brandon Stevens and Jalen Starks have been incredibly impressive too. I mean, Brandon Stevens can put his foot in the ground and go north and south in a heartbeat. And I don't think a lot of guys want to tackle Jalen, although Tahan taught him a little lesson about pad level yesterday. So I think we've got 5 really good prospects there.
So you might have a couple of wide receivers banged up a little bit, Theo and maybe Darren.
Yeah, Theo, he strained his hamstring, and it's nothing serious, but I don't want to put him out here. We need to make sure he recovers before we put him out here so he doesn't miss an extended amount of time. And the same thing with Darren, but it's nothing serious. So.
Darren have a hamstring too?
I don't even know what Darren's was. I think it happened, something was sore, and then during practice got a little more. So I'm not sure it was hammy or his quad or it was something. It's nothing major.
Any kind of a return timeline for Paco?
I would hope by the time we got back from San Bernardino, he'd be ready to go. He's doing a tremendous job in meetings. He's getting a lot of work with Sal. He's getting a lot of work in the weight room. When When Adrian gives him tests in the meetings, either verbal or written tests, he's right on it. Very smart, very good football player. He's had a great summer with Sal. So as soon as he gets back, I think he'll get up to speed pretty quickly.
How much did the offseason help in letting the offense
Grow
and sink in so that they understood the scheme and the concepts and knew what you're
Well, I think that it's really hard for me to even overstate how important it was. When you see a completely different looking unit these first 4 days than you ever did in spring. I mean, it's not even, you see it, it's not even close. From the guys getting off the ball at the same time, the lack of the false starts, guys getting, organized and lined up correctly, and then the execution. We still have light years to go, but we're on the right track, and it's a credit to Kennedy and his organization and the coaches, but especially to the players. And their focus and their mindset, it's been tremendous.
Would you say it's a little bit more complicated and it just took them a little bit more knowledge and then they're kind of over that now? They're past the threshold?
I don't know if they're past it, but they're passing through it. I think it's absolutely fair to say that it's more complicated. There's more formations, there's more personnel groups. The verbiage is a little bit different, not terribly different, but a little bit different. We're doing some different things in the run scheme. Some of the patterns are different. It's more of a game plan type of offense rather than a system. It's a little bit more of a progression-oriented passing game, rather than just, finding the open guy and throwing it to him. And I think in the long run, even though we might have some growing pains in spring and some early in camp, in the long run, it's really going to benefit us as a team, Josh as a quarterback, and our players.
You have a pretty good feel for the true freshmen, which one you expect to play this year? How long in training camp do you have to get before kind of settle in?
A lot longer than 4 days. Yeah, we haven't even really had full gear on yet. So, we've got time. We don't have to make those decisions really until San Bernardino. Until Texas A&M week. But we'd like to make them as quickly as we can. But they've got to be made for us.
We heard about Remember the Titans and dodgeball. What other kind of team building stuff have you guys done?
Well, we did Remember the Titans on the field, which was really cool. Dodgeball, which was competitive. Then Wednesday they went and saw the Magnificent Seven movie. We had a private premiere of that. Sony was gracious enough to do that for us. And then we had a barbecue up in Sunset Rec after that. And tonight we're going bowling, and tomorrow we're going to hike up to Malibu Creek, and then we're going to have a barbecue. So just think, we're getting all the work done we've ever gotten done, but we're just spending a little bit more time together. And it's been really, really good for us.
I think you mentioned in Pac-12 Media Day you might have speakers if you brought in.
Well, we hired a guy named Trevor Moad who has come in. He's worked with Alabama Nick Saban for 10 years. He's worked with Florida State. He's been on the staffs of 5 of the last 7 national champions. And we hired him. He's been with us for all summer, and now this first week he'll be with us during the season. And I'm letting him do a lot of the speaking. And then we've got some other guys coming in that are going to do some things.
How's Mike Faithful looked? It looks like he's kind of taking it to another level here, too.
I think he has. This is his last year, and I think he wants to have an opportunity to play. And I also think that the fact that Devon Modster and Matt Lynch have really shown the ability to compete is pushing Mike. There's someone behind him that's, yapping at his heels. And so I think anytime there's competition, it helps. But Mike seems more settled, more confident, more comfortable, more relaxed, and better.
What is your connection?
Ben North. I'm glad you asked. I wanted to talk about Ben North. My nephew plays for Ben North. My brother's the manager, and they're playing in the regionals out at San Bernardino. They're 2 wins away from going to the Little League World Series. So actually yesterday, I broke the cardinal rule of coaching. The only time I've ever done it is I brought my phone onto the field, and for the first 20 minutes of practice, when stretch and all that, not like real practice stuff, I was watching the game on ESPN3 like this. And then when we started, I had to put it away, and it killed me for 2 hours, but they won 6. This is 2 days ago. They won to 6-2, and then yesterday they won 15-0, and they play tomorrow at noon on, I think, ESPN2. So.
And then they're done in San Bernardino, or they'll be there next week?
Well, if they win it, then they go to Williamsport.
Oh yeah, but I mean when you're there.
They're
next
done.
week.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah, I missed them, but the kids got to come down and watch practice. Julian is my nephew. They lost to Team Washington the first game. They had to play the next morning 7 hours later. First pitch, he hit out for a home run and got him going. So I was proud of him. So I said, bring me a shirt so I can wear it. So I can represent. It's a little tight.
Who's going to get to wear number 1?
That's a great question. We need to handle that internally before I let you know. But these guys can tell you that I'm going to defer to veterans typically.
Might you guys scrimmage on Saturday?
We'll do kind of like we did today, a move the ball period, which is we're not going to tackle. We're not going to go to the ground. I mean, I'll be surprised if we tackle at all during this game. We don't need to. It's dangerous. We're mature enough to get our work done in individual, and we're having enough collisions as it is. But I don't think we'll have an all-out scrimmage. I don't think many teams are doing that anymore. I just think we're moving away from that with player safety, with the concussion issue, and these guys, they do so much work during the off season and they're in such great shape. I just don't know that you need to do that as much anymore.
Is it full pads tomorrow?
It'll be full pads tomorrow, yes. And then Saturday we'll go twice. So in the morning we'll go and like we did today with just the spiders, and then in the afternoon we'll go full gear. And then we'll go out to San Bernardino and start Monday morning with the 2 of them.
All right, guys.
Okay.